morning, children. Saira. Look at this picture. Identify which geometrical figure it is. Yes, it is a triangle. What is the name of the triangle? The name of the triangle is, yes, it is triangle DEF. Right? How many vertices it is having? It is having 3 vertices, 3 angles and 3 sides. So we know that a triangle is a 3-sided closed figure. Now observe the given figure and answer the following questions. So it is the given triangle, triangle DEF. And what you have to do, children? You have to write only answers in your book. So you all are ready with your book, pen, okay? So write the answers. First one, which is the angle opposite to the side DE? So you can write 3-letter name also, you can write 1-letter name also. Which is the angle opposite to the side DE? Second one is, which is the side opposite to angle E? Which is the side opposite to angle E? Third one is, which angle is included by side DE and side DF? And next one is, which side is included by angle E and angle F? State the angles adjacent to side DE. So, children, now answers. Which is the angle opposite to side DE? So, you know that this is side DE, right? So, angle opposite to it is angle F. This is the angle F. So, angle F, single letter or 3-letter, then DFE or EFD. Next is, which is the side opposite to angle E? Now this is the angle E. So side opposite to it is side DF. Which angle is included by side DE and side DF? So it is which angle? It is angle D or EDF. Which side is included by angle E? This is angle E and here it is angle F. So which side is included by it? It is side EF. This side, right? And state the angles adjacent to side DE. Adjacent means they have the common vertex. So this is side DE. So angle adjacent will be angle D and angle E. Single letter name we have written. Now check the answers, children, and tick your answers. First one is angle F or DFE. Second one is side DF. Third is angle D or angle EDF. Fourth is side EF. Fifth is angle D and angle E. Fifth one, angle D and angle E. These are the answers. Accordingly, you give it if it is correct and marks out of 5. Look at these figures. These are circles. And if you observe properly, you can say they are congruent. Now congruent means the figures which exactly coincide with each other are called congruent figures. So figure, that is congruent figures, when we say the figures which exactly coincide with each other are called congruent figures. So these 2 circles are congruent. And if you will trace one circle and cut it and place it on other, you will find that they are coinciding with each other. They are congruent. Now, congruent segments. So when we say the segments are congruent, the segments of equal lengths are congruent. So when the length of the segments is equal, we say they are congruent segments. So for segments, you should have equal lengths. So given to these segments, they are congruent. The lengths are equal. Now, congruent angles. The angles of equal measure. So these two angles, they have equal measure. So when the angles, they have equal measure, we say they are congruent. So angles of equal measures are congruent. For two triangles to be congruent, their sides should be congruent. That is, the segment should be congruent and the angles should be congruent. So today we will do new chapter, chapter 13, congruency of triangles. Chapter 13, congruency of triangles. Now look at these triangles. These triangles are congruent. Their sides are congruent. The corresponding sides are congruent. The angles are congruent. Now for two triangles to be congruent, we have to match their vertices. So the way of matching the vertices is denoted by 1-to-1 correspondence. So very important for triangles is we have to match their vertices also. So you cannot place any vertex with any. So you have to match the vertices, and that is denoted by 1-to-1 correspondence. For example, A. For vertex A is corresponding with P. Vertex A is corresponding with P. Vertex B is corresponding with Q. So you have to give the identical marking. And vertex C is corresponding with R. So we have to understand, for congruency of triangles, we have to see their vertices also. So A is corresponding with P. Vertex A corresponding with P. So you can say we have to place vertex A with P and vertex B with Q and vertex C with R. And the symbol of correspondence is like this. And when we write the correspondence, we have to just use the letters, that is vertices. So this is A corresponds to P, B corresponds to Q, C corresponds to R. So this is the way we have to see their correspondence of vertices also. Now 6 congruencies should be there for two triangles to be congruent. Their 3 angles should be congruent. Their 3 segments should be congruent. So angle A congruent with angle P. We have seen that the A is corresponding with P. So angle A congruent with angle P. Angle B congruent with angle Q. And angle C congruent with R. So this is the correspondence. And side AB congruent with PQ. This is the side AB. And this side AB is congruent with side PQ. And side BC is congruent with QR. And side CA is congruent with PR. So we have to understand, for congruency of triangles, for two triangles to be congruent, their 3 corresponding angles should be congruent, their 3 corresponding segments, that is sides, should be congruent. And for angles, we have seen angles whose measures are equal are congruent. For segments, their length should be equal. Now you have to write the correspondence. Here the given 2 triangles are given, and you can see the identical marking. And if you will see the identical marking, you can see the marking of angle A. That is, the marking of angle A and the marking of angle Q is same. So we can write A corresponds to Q. First you have to see the correspondence of the vertices, right? Then you observe properly, see the identical marking of B with P. They are right angles. So they are the same marking. So B corresponds with P, right? And see the marking of C and R. Identical markings are given. It means they are congruent. So C corresponds to R. So this is the way the correspondence is there. And if we want to write the correspondence, that is 3 vertices together. So how we will be writing it? We will be writing A, B, C corresponds to, now with A, which vertex is there? Q. And for B, it is P. And for C, it is R. So children, now ABC corresponds to P, that is QPR. ABC corresponds to QPR. And you have to observe properly. Have I written any triangle, side, segment? Nothing. So when we are writing the vertices, we have to write in this form. ABC corresponds to QPR. With this correspondence only, these triangles are congruent. If you will change the correspondence, your 2 triangles will not coincide with each other. So they will not be congruent. Right? So this is the way we have to write the correspondence. Now for congruent triangles, it is not necessary to show that all 6 corresponding parts of the 2 triangles are congruent. Which are the 6 corresponding parts we have seen? 3 angles and 3 sides. So it comes to 6. 6 corresponding parts should be congruent. Then the 2 triangles are congruent. But it is not necessary to show that all 6 corresponding parts of the 2 triangles are congruent. If 3 specific parts of one triangle are respectively congruent with the 3 corresponding parts of the other, then the remaining 3 corresponding parts are also congruent with each other. So out of 6 corresponding parts, if 3 specific ones, this is very important children, 3 specific parts of one triangle are respectively congruent with 3 corresponding parts of the other, then remaining 3 corresponding parts are also congruent. So out of 6 corresponding parts, if 3 specific ones are congruent with the corresponding parts of other, then the remaining 3 will also be congruent. The 3 specific parts, that is the specific 3 parts, ascertain the test of congruency. So these 3 specific parts, they determine the test of congruency. So where we are having the different tests of congruency depending on the 3 specific parts. The 3 specific parts of a triangle which determine a unique triangle decide a test of congruency. So we will be studying different tests of congruency. First test of congruency is SAS test. Now the name indicates SAS. S stands for side, A stands for angle, S stands for side. So side, angle, side. It means 2 sides and the included angle. Now here it is shown. 2 sides are congruent. So it is the included angle B here. Same way here 2 sides and the included angle, right? So the name indicates side, angle, side. Now let's see. If 2 sides and the included angle of a triangle are congruent with 2 corresponding sides and the included angle of the other triangle, then the triangles are congruent with each other. So SAS test is 2 sides and the included angle. So let's see here. Given triangle ABC. So which are the 2 sides congruent? And they are shown by identical marks. AB is congruent. So here also AB is congruent with LM and BC is congruent with MN. and the included angle is B. Here the included angle is M. So you can see two sides and the included angle. Same way here, two sides and the included angle, and this is known as side angle side test. Next test of congruency is SSS test. Now as the name indicates, SS stands for side. Side, side, side test. So how many sides does a triangle have? Triangle has 3 sides. So if the 3 sides of a triangle are congruent with 3 corresponding sides of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. If 3 sides of a triangle are congruent with 3 corresponding sides of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent by SSS test. So you can look at these triangles. Triangle PQR and triangle UTS. Triangle PQR and triangle UTS. And you can see side PQ is congruent with side UT. Side PQ congruent with side UT. You can see the same identical marking. Then side PR is congruent with side US. You can see the marking. And QR is congruent with TS. So we can say triangle PQR is congruent triangle UTS by SSS test. Next is ASA test. A stands for angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. It means side between the two angles, that we call it included side. So you can see the given triangles. Triangles are XYZ, triangle XYZ and triangle DEF. And you can see the marking, angle S, angle X, angle D, angle X, angle D. They are having the identical marking, and Z is having the identical marking of F. So two angles X and angle Z, and the included side is XZ. Same way here, angle D, angle F, and the included side is DF. So if two angles of a triangle and a side included by them are congruent with two corresponding angles and the side included by them of the other triangle, then the triangles are congruent with each other. And the test is ASA, angle side angle, that is the two angles and the included side. So we can say here triangle XYZ is congruent triangle DEF by ASA test. So children, we have done 3 tests today. Which are they? SAS, side angle side, SSS, side side side, and ASA, angle side angle. Remaining tests will continue in the next session. This is an assignment question. State the correspondence between the vertices of the given triangles. So you have to mention the correspondence between the vertices. Observe the figures properly, and what you will find that identical marking of X and D are same. It means X corresponds to D. Then Y, observe Y. Is Y having any identical marking? No. So you find here which is that E. So Y corresponds with E and Z corresponds with F, right? So this is a correspondence. Now how you are going to write the answer? You are going to write all the 3 vertices together like this. X, Y, Z corresponds to. Now in place of X we know it is D. In place of Y, E. In place of Z, means Z corresponds with F. Y corresponds with E and X corresponds with D. So this is the way you are going to do the assignment question. Thank you children, and we will continue in the next session. Sai Ram.